All righty, y'all. Feel free to take a seat. We're going to get started.
You have a professional crew. Are you an expert pitcher? Are you getting ready to give us a master class on how you do this? No. Oh, okay.
All righty. Good morning, everyone. Everyone have coffee, water, all ready to go? All right, let's get it. Happy Wednesday. If you can see here on the screen, there's a QR code to register for 1MC, although you registered on Luma. This is actually how 1MC is a nationwide nonprofit. They track attendance, and this is how we get funding, achieve grants, and show that we're actually showing up for the community. So I please ask everyone to scan it now. You can scan it later. But this morning you're at 1 million cups. Woo! All right, let's go. Who's first time here? Anyone? All right, let's go. Welcome. So some of you know, but 1 Million Cups is a nationwide nonprofit started in 2013 in Kansas City. It was over a cup of coffee that two entrepreneurs wanted to get together, and they realized that cup of coffee generated everything they needed to move their business forward. And like us, that's a really good way to get together. So with one cup of coffee, started an event, and that event started different communities hosting that same event. So every Wednesday morning nationwide, 110 communities get together over sponsored coffee, sponsored venues, and then they have 1 million cups. So depending on the time zone, there's other communities right now in the US getting together. Here you are in Chicago. So we're almost hitting our 1 year mark in March. So let's go. So how it works is two presenters present where they're at. They simply present where they're at, meaning it's not a pitch. They're not trying to sell you anything. They're trying to present where they are in their entrepreneurial journey. Usually businesses under 5 years old are a great fit, but they could have any sort of run rate revenue. They could just be an idea stage or really be pushing the limits. So today we're going to be hearing from two entrepreneurs local to Chicago. They have amazing businesses. After one presents, you get 20 minutes of feedback. You can ask any questions. They're going to have some asks from the community for you guys to answer. So please be thoughtful of the ideas you give. If you have criticism, give it in a lighthearted way, and then offer resources. A lot of the answers a lot of us are looking for in our professional careers are usually in the room we're in. So you're in the right space. So to get us kicked off, I want to give a standing ovation for Jasmine with Babekeeping. Alrighty, Jasmine. And then, nope, no mics today, so just sound. Is that fine there? Or did you want this kind of on the side here?
I don't want that one seen.
Okay. Is that fine like that?
No, I need to see the other
Okay.
one.
Okay. Is it fine if I have it like that? I think they're going to be able to see that though.
I don't.
Okay.
Is it on Zoom?
Yeah, it is on Zoom.
Select to only show this instead of the full screen.
Okay, let's see. That's a good idea. All righty. Give me one more second, y'all. I'm going to share this instead of that.
She wants a presenter.
Just a presenter view instead of, yeah. Let's see if we can do that. Keith, do you think we can with the Zoom share?
Do we have a second?
Oh yeah, do you want to pull your laptop on the side right here so you can see it? Yeah. You could just pull your laptop so we can have that. Yeah.
This one doesn't support presenter mode.
Ah, I see.
The screen sharing, because what it'll do is it'll share the whole thing.
Copy that.
So.
Only share one screen.
Yeah, because it'll only share the whole screen with this Zoom room. So you can pull the presenter mode right here and then have it side by side if you want. So in the meantime, I'll full screen that. And then as you click along, you can just click the space like normal. Thank you.
You good? You have the notes here. And then you just push the. All right, you're good. Sorry. All right, I'm okay.
Perfect. That look good?
Okay.
And then you can clip this
Oh, this
anywhere
is
on
a
your
little
person.
microphone.
Yeah, you can just, it's just for the live, so.
So next Thursday, from 11:30 to 2:30,
Then after they're done, yeah.
sign up for a 20-minute appointment to the account professional and get your about that user plan. Are we good to go?
All right, let's do it.
So, hello, good morning. Can everyone hear me well? I am Jasmine. I'm the founder of Babekeeping, where we are building a new standard for how women business owners are understanding and using their numbers, starting with financial systems that they were never taught, going beyond just keep your receipts. I will say that I didn't start college planning to become an accountant. I actually started wanting to produce movies. About 3 weeks into Film 101, I realized I made a huge mistake. I couldn't stay awake through black and white silent films. It was terribly boring. So I walked out mid-class towards the business school and declared a new major, accounting. So much for escaping the boring path, right? I chose accounting because I was naturally good with numbers and job market security, whatever that means. What I didn't know at the time was that choosing accounting was also choosing an identity. When you tell people you're an accountant, there's a look. The box is already built for you: dull, socially awkward, and boring. And I felt that working in corporate accounting. So the first opportunity that I had to escape that feeling, I flew right across the pond to explore my fashion desires. My 3-month European summer was guided on which big cities the big fashion weeks were going to be happening in. And let me tell you one thing: there's nothing like being in your mid-20s, having your college degrees, traveling the world solo, and having it your way. Take that, accounting. One minute. Oh man, I'm having technical problems.
Now we're interesting.
That's stuck.
Maybe refresh it. And click on the slide after. Open a new presenter view, maybe.
1 second. Start over.
Yeah, go ahead. Go. Present. Presenter view.
Got it. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually, the cats come home to meow, or have the saying goes. 30 countries later, I was back home in Chicago, settling in, working retail, and doing side gigs. Until one day, my father came and reminded me very graciously that I had a dual degree and I can be more financially stable. So back to the back to the accounting lifestyle, I went. But this time, it felt different because now I was aware of the box. I knew how people perceived accounting. And I found myself dimming parts of me just to fit into that image. I still pursued fashion, side quests here and there, but 9 to 5 corporate accounting was my life. While continuing on that path, something great happened, something we've never seen before: the 2020 pandemic. I, along with millions of others, found ourselves out of work. But instead of panicking, I saw it as permission. Off to LA I went to become a wardrobe stylist because it was so much cooler to say I'm an LA stylist than it was to say I'm an accountant. Within my first year, I was being booked as a lead stylist for big global brands for commercial sets like Adobe, Genesis, and BuzzFeed. And here's what surprised me: styling was creative, it was glamorous, But behind the scenes, it was a business. Expenses, mileage, contracts, assistants, invoices, receipts. That's when I realized I wasn't grateful that I escaped accounting. I was so thankful that I chose it because those same corporate systems were the reason why my business was working. Numbers were my language, but most creative entrepreneurs were drowning in them. As a stylist, I worked with so many different women and female founders, like the owner of a production company that hired me to style 100 models for Runway during LA Fashion Week, or a set of twins that I met that were models who also created a fitness app, as well as my local dry cleaners who would clean the clothes that I used on set before I returned them back to the costume department at ABC Studios. They were brilliant, they were creative, they were making money, but when it came to their numbers, what do? They do the best that they can. They hope that their tax preparers magically lowers their tax bill each year. They also do nothing, frozen with guilt and shame and fear of feeling exposed. So they avoid that conversation. But let's be clear, this is not a conversation of women are behind. Women are building at scale. Women are building at scale. But here's the part that we don't talk about. 3 in every 4 business owners, women business owners, are building businesses not feeling confident in their numbers. Another shocking fact is 1 in every 3 are denied funding because their financials aren't ready. Not because their ideas aren't strong, not because they're incapable, but because the numbers don't tell the story. Women are building. The question is, are the numbers building with them? I serve women who mean business. I don't serve a specific industry. I serve a specific founder. She's capable, she's building momentum, and she's generating revenue. Women founders are building powerful businesses, but no one taught them how to turn their numbers into decisions. She's operating off of instinct instead of data, and Babekeeping is here to change that. In my last corporate role, I wasn't just categorizing expenses. I was client facing, meeting weekly with executive leaders. And those numbers weren't theoretical. They were tied to real money, money from $1 million state and federal grants, annual fundraising, galas, conferences, conferences and sponsorships, and investor financing, loans, and lines of credit. Most business owners aren't confused because they're incapable. Here's what I know. Knowing the numbers doesn't mean understanding them. My role wasn't just to present numbers and financial reports, it was to translate them, to make them usable. It was to help them understand, are we okay? Can we hire? Can we invest? Can we grow? So I am excited to be here and building in public with you all. And just to be clear, I'm not stuck on bookkeeping, I'm stuck on architecture. Here's what I'm kind of figuring out. Here's what I'm figuring out right now. Number one, how to create rooms where women founders can actually engage with their numbers without shame or avoidance. Number 2, where are women business owners already gathering in Chicago that I can plug into before building my own ecosystem? And number 3, which is a really big one, if you already have an accountant, what would make you want to attend something like this anyway?
Great presentation. I didn't know, it's such I say like an obvious unicorn, right? Because it's right in front of you and it's such a glaring problem, but it's not really niche down and there's no solution. So within the 3 questions you asked, I'll start off asking, what have you done so far that you've seen has gained traction for this problem, and how are you shaping the business so far?
I'll say so far what I've done is I put myself in front of my clients, and I've been met with a lot of, well, mostly the big objection that I'm receiving, which is why I'm not able to get much traction, is um, a lot of business owners, they do have accountants, more so like a tax preparer where they're meeting annually or quarterly, but mostly it's just strictly regards to tax, but they're running their business day to day. And so there's a big disconnect there from understanding how knowing your numbers, or knowing their numbers rather, on a day to day or even monthly basis, weekly or monthly basis, has a totally different impact than only annually when you're handing over your P&Ls to your tax preparer to file your taxes. So I've been just like having conversations, trying to a little bit poke holes in that idea that, like, yes, you do have an accountant, but you don't know your numbers, and I'm like continuously like met with resistance there.
Any other questions, ideas, resources? Crystal?
So this piggybacking off, excuse me, your last comment, how are you getting women in particular socialized to wanting to know their numbers better? Because I know a lot of people are just like, I'm getting this off of my accountant, and I'm going to let them take care of it so that I can focus on my business. So how are you bridging that relationship gap?
So in person, when I'll like go literally like to their businesses, introduce myself, and kind of have a conversation. That way, and let them know how what I do is different than what they're doing to prepare for their taxes. Also through like social media posts, having conversation there. That's the extent so far.
And to answer, I guess, kind of all three of your questions in one here about convenient distribution, and I think it says messaging underneath there.
Yes.
So women business owners, we got it here. And there's a variety of other places, but I'm starting a new event within the next month that's specifically for early stage founders and small business owners who are looking for business advice. And I'd love to have you be a business advisor. So before we're done with today, let's make sure that we speak with one another. In terms of convening, I think that everyone has money questions about their business. It's probably the arena that people have the least amount of experience with. They're great subject matter experts. Everything else they kind of can't figure out, and they're trying to figure out as they go. So having some partnered events and co-hosted conversations, I think, are actually a really good idea for you to get plugged into the system and to start to really not only socialize but normalize the conversation around money and make it a little bit less taboo.
Thank you. Do I pick? Or are you picking?
We'll go in the back.
Thank you.
So there, as Crystal mentioned, there's a bunch of like big business groups. There's one that I go to that goes once a month of you, and I'm happy to talk about it later. With entrepreneurship, I actually met them there a couple months ago. And there's like, if you go on Meetup, if you go and you just search like women business owners and women entrepreneurs, that's a great way to find something like that. I also think we're talking a lot about education here, and I think there's a really cool way for you to make like resources, whether that's like, a TikTok video that is like covering a question you get a lot, or like misconception or something like that, just to start to open conversation about like women business owners like in an accessible way who don't know how to answer these questions. Like my first thought was like write a blog. Blogs aren't exactly like writing right now, so I don't write a blog, but that can help women sort of access what you're trying to teach them, like from a low stakes way, and then be like, oh, maybe I should actually be doing something else.
Thank you.
My profession is in information management, data warehousing. So I heard you use the word data and data-driven decision making. But also there's a conversation around taxes. Taxes are usually a once a year conversation. We grab all your paperwork, we give it to somebody.
Yeah.
Information and data-driven decision making is regularly occurring. So it sounds like to me then, because I'm biased, consulting. So my question for you is, from a monetization perspective, is your strategy to work with people monthly and have them pay monthly? Or is it on contract basis, or like how are you thinking about that relative to how you separate yourself from a tax preparer and then getting people prepared to pay on a more regular basis throughout the year?
So to answer that question, I am looking to work with people on a monthly basis, like on an ongoing basis, to help them to really make better business decisions by knowing what's going on in their business and their finances, their business finances. So not contract. I think. Did you say consultant? I think I heard you say consultant, which kind of leans more towards the month to month model. That's what I'm looking at.
So I participated in a couple programs specifically for women entrepreneurs. Online, I'd be happy to, share more information about those programs, a connection introduction. Both of them had ways for people to come in, either as guest speakers, or be an advisor, et cetera, different networks, expand, through these programs. So I think that would be great.
Okay, thank you. I would love to talk about that.
Last question.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because I know you traveled, got a global experience. So in this next phase, are you envisioning starting hyperlocal? Do you want it to be state level? Like what audience do you want to begin with as your core group and then grow with? What are you envisioning?
So I am. Thank you. I am thinking Chicago initially to like gain traction, but I do want to go like countrywide, multi-state. I do have like maybe like 5 or 6 states that I want to expand to, like round 2, where there are a big concentration of women-owned businesses and female founders that are in that growth stage where they are looking for funding in different capacities. So that is the plan that I have.
Amazing. Let's give a round of applause. Great presentation, Jasmine.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Of course. All righty. Did you guys like that one? Yeah. Yep. I'm going to load the other presenter. While I'm loading that, I will give you guys a quick quiz. I will give someone a cup of coffee if they can name our coffee sponsor. Hey, all righty, that's right. We are sponsored by U3 for coffee, and then the space you're in is called Team Working by TechNexus. We do have a code that I'm going to put up quickly, and you can find me after that. We're going to hang it up here. You have 1 free week of co-working or a 10% discount on event space. And every Wednesday we're here, we're able to, there it is. Every Wednesday we're here, we're able to co-work. So feel free to stay around, hang around. I usually work here. We'll let you know if there's any events that occupy the space, but to our knowledge today, we're good to go. So feel free to check out Team Working by TechNexus. They have a lot of fun events. Tomorrow they actually have a Black History celebration event here, which is super nice. And then at Second City, my last shout out for an event, there is a monthly, well, I guess for Black History Month on Tuesdays and Fridays, on Thursdays and Fridays at 8 p.m., they have like a Black History comedy show. I saw it on opening night. It was like one of the funniest shows and it was sold out. So please get your tickets in advance if you do want to check it out. But I'm super excited for our next presentation. Let's give a standing ovation to Jen with Paidaze.
Is my sound okay? I'm like surrounded by mics right now. All right. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Critchlow. I am the founder of Paidaze. I started the company back in the fall, but I've had the idea for about a year now. I envision Paidaze being the loyalty wallet for modern shoppers. I am a deal hunter. I don't like paying full price for pretty much anything. I try to avoid it when I can. But the truth is, when I'm doing casual purchases, I get really annoyed by the online shopping experience. I think most of us do. So I have this screenshot from a time where I needed to simply buy a few screws. And before I could even hit checkout, I had already been bombarded with a bunch of offers, advertisements, and different loyalty programs. And I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. When I sat down and thought about what could Paidaze be, what could it possibly address, I wanted to take a moment to think about, well, what is in the market today? What is the consumer's experience? And then what is the loyalty program operator's experience? When I looked at what the consumer's experience was, broadly speaking, a lot of them said it's too noisy. There are way too many terms and offers when they're comparing loyalty programs, and it's too complicated to try to do deal stacks. So what ends up happening is most people only take the time to do deal stacks on major purchases like going on a trip with friends or buying a major appliance. And for the operators of loyalty programs, it's not so great either. They're really expensive to operate. There are way too many channels that they're trying to target you with ads on, and then there's too many signals. So actually the return on investment isn't great for them either. So from a consumer's experience and from an operator's experience, I just felt like there's got to be a better way. And I think right now, when I'm looking at the market, I think there's an opportunity for us to shift our loyalties, even how we define loyalty. In 2022, I found a stat that said consumers had earned $40 billion worth of rewards, but had only redeemed $7 billion. The feedback, there was a number of reasons why they didn't redeem all 33 billion back. But by and large, it was because it was really confusing. It was way too complicated. There were too many terms. On average, the United States household has actually 46 transactions. So when you think about deal stacking only being for those major purchases, yet you have on average 46 transactions, that's a lot of missed opportunities to take advantage of your loyalty programs. The last thing I'll say is sorry, this is cut off, but these two numbers are contrasting. From 2014 to 2024, there had been a decrease, 65.9% decrease in use of cash at checkout, and yet 1,000% increase in digital loyalty wallets. So I really believe that the future of loyalty lies in digital transactions. I'm envisioning Paidaze being the loyalty for the modern economy as we're seeing it. Way more transactions online. I believe that those transactions could be AI-powered recommendations of which loyalty program you use at checkout. I believe every purchase should be made with ease and gains you the highest possible reward at that point of sale. And the last thing is, I believe that consumers can deepen their loyalty and really define it based on the programs that actually outperform the rest. So make them compete. Don't make them compete for my eyes and my attention, but make them compete by giving me the best offer at checkout. So Paidaze, these are kind of the components and values that I'm bringing into the system. I want to have the value of rewards, cashback, and coupons competing in one space. Again, putting it all into one digital loyalty wallet. I want to be mindful that some of this data is sensitive. I'm talking about payment methods. I'm talking about potentially insurance, AARP, AAA having loyalty programs, even your gym memberships, all being in one place. So really securing that data and making sure that it's protected from unauthorized access. And then again, the recommendations, because they're AI powered, being explainable, traceable, and verifiable. So I just want to pause for a moment and say my background is in e-commerce and banking, mostly in the B2B realm, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But basically, I want to take my skill set that I've learned to help banks make money and ensure that customers and consumers can get those same benefits. So Paidaze, I've already started building it. There is a web version available, and I'm working on the mobile app right now. We're in the beta phase. But essentially, when users first sign up, they do three things. They set their mission for their wallet. So that's either to save money, gain points, or maximize rewards. Then they add their coupons, and then they add their loyalty programs. So this is my vision for the year. We're going to harden and launch this MVP, then do a PLG rollout. For those unfamiliar, PLG is product-led growth. So basically, each time users are engaging with the platform, that drives what features get built next. So it's always in sync with what consumers are actually doing. And then I want to explore partnerships. I'm starting to already do that, and I'll It's part of my ask, but that is a very long process to get loyalty programs fully integrated into systems like this. And then fourth is deepening the AI solution. So after a full year of transactions, there's some really fun things we can go into 2027 doing. So as I mentioned, my background is mostly in regulated industries and primarily in banking and e-commerce. I have an AI ML background, but as I said, I'm a deal hunter. I just want something kind of for me, but like, yes, for all of us, because at scale, we can really do some pretty cool things. All right, so my ask for the community is twofold. One is, as I mentioned, I'm starting to look at partnerships and really gauging which ones are best. So I'm curious, what companies, organizations, or ecosystems would you recommend we explore to find these types of partners? Really ones who are eager to have redemption of their rewards and engagement with their rewards programs, whatever the reward be. Gift cards, I don't really care. I just want a core group of users that and partners who want people to actually receive benefits. And then the second part is on the consumer side. What communities or channels would you recommend for reaching out to these types of consumers? I'm thinking like travel enthusiasts, deal seekers, cashback power users, that sort of thing. All right, thank you. I'll leave this up.
Is it just you on the team right now?
Yeah. I mean, it's a collective. There are people who support me, but it really is just me. Yeah, you guys are my team.
Any questions, feedback, Rosemary?
Yeah.
Okay, this is genius. Love it.
Thank you.
We're looking out over here. I'm a fellow like global trotter as well. So
Yeah.
my mind automatically goes to I'm personally loyal to United Airlines.
Yeah.
And so I am always on the hunt, and I've actually used AI to research like what credit card is best for the travel perks
Yes.
and what I can do, and like I'm switching my personal banking for this.
Yes.
Because I want to be a loyal like United Airlines customer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my first thought is airlines. Like people are really into the point playing, and like I don't pay for flights. Like I just use my points and figure out how to do that.
Right on.
So I think like even United Airlines being headquartered in Chicago, it
Mm-hmm.
could be a good partnership for you.
Right on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So all the way in the back.
Yes. Yeah. Mhm. I love that you asked that question. I have an FAQ question specifically answering that, but I'm not going to pull that up right now. I'm going to answer your question. I don't see those as direct competition. I really see those as potential loyalty programs that can compete for consumer benefit, really. When I compare Rakuten to like, a Capital One shopping or like, those are, the difference there is that like Capital One is obviously inherently brand specific to that card and Capital One seems a little bit more agnostic, but the truth is they're both marketing distribution platforms. They're trying to get you to buy things. I'm assuming you're already buying things. I just want you to get the best deal. So I'm going to make them compete. They both might have the same offer for a given vendor. Let's see which one is actually the best for you. Yeah.
Great. Question about, I guess, the interesting dynamic with how modern consumers are dealing with, let's say, loyalty rewards currently, kind of, especially with like the new kind of boom of like credit card points, et cetera. It seems like there's this movement towards like aggressive commodification of services that's kind of antagonistic towards particular loyalties to brands because people are looking for very particular deals. And so I guess in this space in which there's loyalty of like continually, shopping or engaging with particular brands, services, or providers, and then there's kind of the commodification and kind of let me swap points and go to this provider and see who's giving me the best deal. I guess what's your view on that, and is that struggle for you, or is this going to be something?
I think, my dream is that this actually kind of resolves a lot of the noise. Because I think, again, like that screenshot is just if you're shopping online. I think the same experience happens in your inbox like your email inbox. A lot of people have spam and promotions and they don't even open it, they're ignoring it. And I would love a solution that just automatically pulled that information in. And when I'm actually ready to make a purchase, it's just analyzing all the offers available to me in one place more discreetly. So yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a lot more competition right now. I think also, I didn't talk about it here, but in the previous administration, at the very, very end, Pete Buttigieg actually started to hint that most consumers are starting to treat this as a financial vehicle for their households, even though it's not a regulated industry. So I think getting ahead of this and building a tool that is inherently mindful of regulation will make this faster in the long run, because others are just going to have to try to build something mirroring it. So if this is already doing it, I think I'm ahead of the market. Yeah. Yeah.
You guys have a question from the back, Cheryl?
Yeah, I was curious. You mentioned that there's like three on the consumer side. There's like save money and earn points, maximum rewards.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Oh, I love that question. Yeah. So saving money is very straightforward. It's like, get me the steepest discount you possibly can by stacking all of the offers available to me. That's coupons and, percentage off, right? Points is also very straightforward, just trying to get the most amount of points at the point of sale, right? But maximizing rewards to something a little bit more complicated. What it's doing is it's normalizing the value of the points. So every point that you earn actually has a dollar value. And so it's actually analyzing, okay, here's the steepest discount we could have gotten you. Here's the most cash, essentially, your points would have been worth. Which one is actually most, valuable? So yeah. And again, only AI can really handle that at that scale. That's not, no human should really have to deal with that unless you want to, Yeah. 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 Okay.
There's the set regulation, but there's the this current administration with the cap on interest rates for credit cards, and they're affecting one system that credit. How's that? How are you thinking about that?
Yeah. So I think the restructuring a lot of the that you're seeing with a lot of loyalty programs is part of it is, yes, like they're responding to interest rates, but I think they're also starting to compare themselves to each other. For instance, like I analyze Delta and I analyze Southwest. I go deep on numbers. A lot of them have like their point system. They're making more money off of points than they are even flying planes. So that might sound crazy to people when you think of an airline, but I need you to understand that like that's a GDP that can like compete with some countries. So when they're thinking about that, I guess my push to build something like this is I don't want companies like that to consider if those rewards are a liability versus an asset, because to all of us we know that those are assets, but for them they genuinely are thinking about it that way, in part because it's not regulated. So what happens if the government then like starts to turn a closer eye at it at some point, maybe in the future? So I think again, those like Southwest just released a new debit card, right? To kind of be coupled with their point system. That's not FDIC insured, but they're operating like a bank at that point. They're holding money. So again, I see those as things that can be utilized inside here in order to compete against the broader market. But I think they really are analyzing themselves against others in their ecosystem. And it's not just airlines to airlines, it's like airlines to hospitals, because they also do some credit lending. So yeah.
We have time for one more question. Keep in mind, any companies, organizations, or
Yeah.
communities, if you have it on the top of your head, feel free to follow up with Jen.
Yeah.
But I'll let you finish off the last question.
Yeah.
So I have a buddy who's in the engineering team at Upside.
Okay.
Is Upside an organization that you feel like, well, you know about, but
Yeah.
would you partner with them or would you compete with them?
Yeah. I think there is that is a great question too. I still see that as like another loyalty program, because I see them more like a Rakuten as a likeness than my platform. Again, mine is like make them all compete. Like I'm more like the soccer field. You know what I mean? I'm like, try it. Let's see if you're with this and this one with this one, and let's see what happens. So it's a different orientation, which I think might be challenging for some partners. So really like honing in on which ones are first are important to me, because for the credit card lenders, it's going to be a harder sell, right? To them, it's obvious why they would not want to participate. They kind of need to be compelled because there's already a groundswell of existing users who are asking for them to be in that because they have already gained the benefit. So again, this is where it's like, I see this potentially changing what loyalty looks like because we're challenging the very notion of it for them.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah.
Amazing job. You saw it here first. Yep, perfect. Alrighty, so we had coffee, we had a great venue, great responses, and the one thing that came to mind for me was really that for both of your businesses, a lot of what you're seeking for, a lot of the people in here are going to be your primary users and customers, right? Because you're showing up in a space where you're building trust. Outside competitors, they seem far away. You being here in the space brings you closer to us, and we're probably going to prefer your business, your services over others. So we just wanted to end it with a past presenter, Shale. He's going to speak about his experience here at 1MC. No, I don't think this will work.
Yeah, so thank you, and thanks, Lauren. So I presented when 1MC started back in, well, I presented in May, but we started in March last year. And it's been, like, there's a lot of benefits. So I see a lot of new faces, right? A lot of people's first 1MC. So just want to encourage people to present, and there's a lot of benefits, right? So for me, I was just starting out in my startup journey last year when I presented, and I was just a few months in, and just the act of like putting together the presentation, right? Like as you're starting out and you're scrappy, like just distilling everything into just a few slides and making a clear ask actually did something for me that I didn't realize at the time that when I was presenting. So that's like a one huge benefit. It's just like clear your head and figure out all the things that you need help with and just writing it down on a piece of paper. And then the other thing is like all the unknowns, right? Like the unknowns as a startup founder is like a big, I guess, threat, or I don't know how you call it. So there's a lot of opinions and answers that you get from everyone here, right? And I thought that was such a big opening light bulb for me, right? It's like, hey, like there's a lot of things that I'm not really thinking about that I should think about. So one thing is like I didn't write everything down. Thank God there's a recording of like all the things that I heard when I presented, all the people that gave me feedback after. So yeah, just wanted to say like it's been great. I'm actually going to represent in a few weeks here, so they allow you to do that as well. There's been a lot of updates since then for my startup. But yeah, just wanted to encourage people to present. This is a friendly space. There's a lot of benefits to presenting. You'll learn a lot, and you'll be an alumni.
That's right.
So
You get to earn one of these.
Back and you present.
Yeah, Shale is an alumni with a koozie, right? So every time you present. All right, let's give a round of applause for Shale. Alrighty, so that is 1 Million Cups. We will be here back in the same space next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Same coffee, same venue. So if you'd like to volunteer, please reach out to one of us on the side. We're happy to have you. If you'd like to present, it's easier. You can fill out a quick link. You go through a quick application process, and we'll walk you through exactly kind of what you're presenting and what you're asking from the community. But then you could earn a tumbler like this. So now feel free to network, hang out. I'm going to ask the presenters to come on up, take a group picture. Thank you for coming out, y'all. Have fun. All righty. Of course. Thank you. Let me end this YouTube live here.
Great job, y'all. Great job.
All righty. Arliss. Yeah.